Hello parents, welcome to our series on writing. We are aiming at a series of videos which will help you to help your child master the writing skill. So we're going to start with the basics of hand grip and learning to write the strokes first, and finally at the end of our series your child will be able to write A to Z, capital letters. So let's begin. In today's video, in our first segment, we are going to learn how to write the basic strokes. So let's begin. So in today's segment, we are going to first attempt to teach the children how to join the dots. So very important is the grip of the pencil. So you have to ensure that your child is using 3 fingers to hold on to the pencil. These 2 fingers would be folded. Now if your child has trouble keeping these fingers folded, you can give some aid like cotton or tissue which the child can hold under these fingers so that only the 3 fingers come into play. But please remember, any aid or support that you are giving the child, after the first week, do ensure to stop using it. Otherwise, the children tend to become dependent on such support. Now, the next thing you need is a book which is unruled. As you can see, this book is plain. There are no lines. And of course, you need a pencil for your child and a pencil for yourself. So the first step is for a child to learn to start from a particular point. So we will be giving a dot and asking the child to write a standing line. Now the reason we are using a plain book is to encourage movement of the hand of the child without the restriction of the 4 lines. So this is where the children start to learn to start from a particular place, and they will learn to end at a particular place. So the next step is to give the child 2 dots and ask them to start at one point and end at the second. And please make sure whenever you are giving instructions, it is oral instructions. Do not hold the hand of the child. Such an activity, holding the hand and helping the child to write, would be detrimental to the child learning to write. It will then later take much longer for the child to learn to write. So you start from 1 dot. If you see that your child goes beyond the 2nd dot, you can see here I have a dot here, but the child is writing beyond it. Take a pencil, another pencil in your hand, and keep it at the 2nd dot so that your child can stop. So you start here and your child is forced to stop where your pencil is. Now even this support of the 2nd pencil that you are giving, you need to see that you do not do it all the time, and it should be for a limited time period. Now once your child has understood how to join 2 dots to stop at the 2nd dot, you can move on to the sleeping line. You can give 2 dots and ask your child to join it. Now some of you might see that your child's hand is not steady and it's a wriggly line. Can you see the difference between this and this? This will improve to become this through practice. But do not wait for the child's hand to become steady and continue only with the standing line, because your child will begin to lose interest in writing. If your child is able to understand the basic concept of starting at one place and ending at another through oral instructions, you are good to go to move on to the next stroke, which is a sleeping line. Once again, you have 2 dots and you are helping your child to join it. Again here, if your child is going beyond the dot, you know what to do. Keep your pencil at the second dot so that your child is forced to stop. Just remember, do not hold the hand to achieve this. Stop the child from moving through this action. Now, once your child has learned and can understand through your oral instructions what a standing line is and a sleeping line is, move on to the letters. So we will be starting with the first letter, which is letter L. So standing line and sleeping line. It's a combination of these two strokes. Now, when you are doing this writing, for the first few letters, until your child has understood how the formation is, the order of the strokes, you should remember to name the letter. You should then tell the child, let's write letter L. So you will be writing like this. When your child is able to see what you're writing and copy you, your child has well and truly understood. So you can move on to the next letter, which is letter T. So your child will write letter T, and then you have I, H, F and E. These are the 6 letters that follow the standing and sleeping line pattern. Now, if you see that your child after L and T is able to follow and able to write, you can move on to the 4-line book. Now, this is the 4-line book. You can have a separate copy for your child to practice in. So here you can give the dots. You can give for letter L. And the same instructions, a child has to start at the top dot and end at the second, and similarly the sleeping line, letter L. So in a line you can write 4 times, and you can give 4 to 5 rows for your child to write. Now, one very important point that you should remember is your child should be practicing their writing every day. So every day you can give 4 to 5 lines. Not necessary for your child to write a full complete page. So they can write 4 to 5 lines, and each day you can write a different letter if your child has already mastered the strokes. So L on one day, T the next. So remember, even if the strokes are not steady, it is okay, but keep moving on to the next letters so that the interest of the child is sustained. Only then would they want to continue writing. So in this video, in this segment, we have touched upon the grip, the strokes using the unruled notebook, and moving on to the ruled book. You can look at how your child is writing, and you can take a call whether your child is ready or not to move to the 4-line book. Now, if your child is not able to stay within the 4 lines, you can go back to the unruled book. Here, if you notice, the lines, the dots are far apart. So here again you can practice by giving the dots closer. So this way your child, without the restriction of the lines, will understand to join the dots but in a smaller space. So there's nothing wrong in shifting between the books, the unruled and the ruled. Once your child is confident enough in your unruled, your child would be ready and able to write in the ruled notebook. So parents, please do keep practicing on a daily basis. Practice makes perfect. Giving a gap in the writing one day and writing later on a 4th day will not help the child. It will take longer for the child to master the writing skill. Practice every day would definitely help to hasten their learning of the writing. So please go ahead and practice this. You can practice all the 6 standing and sleeping line letters, and we'll be back with the next set of letters. Thank you.